Yo, what's up? Those of you with a better memory than the average Zoomer will remember how 1 month ago Darkflow proposed some of the worst economical changes imaginable, among them deleting all of your excess research that you accumulated for a nation and giving you back 1% of that in silver. Or, similarly brain dead, finally giving you additional experience and silver for clicking on the join and team button, but this number was proposed to be 20%. Problem with that, despite being, or besides being ridiculously low, is that join any team usually throws you into a significantly less played nation, because the factions enlisted are most of the time heavily imbalanced, meaning you will very likely lose. And very likely lose means instead of getting the 50% multiplier for winning, you get only the 20% multiplier. So overall, you would still get less experience and silver than if you didn't get this 20% for the join in a team. So these were absolute brain farts, but now, some people may not even believe it, we got some good ideas. Yes, because Darkflow basically copied what the reasonable people in the community said. And here is the exact list. First of all, depending on the tier, and tier means these tier 1, tier 2 and so on. Depending on the tier, you will have to grind less. So instead of getting 26,000 experience, you will get minus 23 to grind, only 20,000. And for mid-tier, which is usually BR3 stuff, instead of having to grind 150,000 experience, only 70,000, minus 50%, amazing. And for the last tier, still minus 30. Now this is great. Then, regarding economical changes for silver, buying soldiers will be also significantly expensive, especially, and this is very important, for the lower tiers, meaning the new players will have to, well, finally not spend their whole evening every day to buy one soldier, but now they can actually get proper prices. Instead of having to pay 3,000 for your average soldier, you only have to pay 600 then, or in the future. And tier 2 soldiers also, instead of 7,500, only 1,500. Now this is insanely good. Once again, minus 80% for tier 1 and tier 2 is really good. And most classes in Enlisted only have tier 1 and 2. Because engineers only come as tier 2 and tier 1. Machine gunners can get tier 3 and only assaulters can get tier 4. But most other classes are highly limited. So yeah, this is really, really good. This is gonna make the game much more affordable. And not only for new players, which profit the most, if you look at this minus 80%, but also people who played the game for a longer time, but want to get into higher BRs. Well, saving 44 or almost 1/3% in buying high tier soldiers, yes, this is gonna be great. Only thing missing out here is the randomness removal, because if you enlist a random soldier, if you buy a random soldier, let's say we buy a Assaulter 4, we pay a lot of silver for that, and now let's see, what does the soldier come as? He came as, exactly, he came with randomly rolled stats, and most of them won't be perfect, they won't have a star, so guess what? This is the big problem. This is like the ridiculous problem. For example, he should have one more green perk. So yeah, the only thing you can do for that is you basically have to sell him, because if you want to play a perfect army, right now Enlisted forces you to buy soldiers until you get perfect ones, and you get, I think, roughly 90% of what you buy back. But still, you're constantly losing silver, and most importantly, you're losing time. This is just brain dead annoying, so this also needs to be addressed. But right now, still, at least we're gonna save a lot of silver. Then, buying vehicles, extremely expensive. Well, let's put it this way, not that highly expensive compared to weapons, because let's put it this way. a King Tiger costing only 5 times as much as a random BR5 weapon, that's okay. But still, they're going to be much cheaper, especially in the early levels, which is great because if you're a new player and you want to, say, get to the Crusader, you have to grind all of these steps in between, all of these 5 tanks, and you also have to buy all of them in between. You cannot just grind them and then buy this as your first. No, you have to grind them all, you have to buy them all too. This is horribly expensive, and yeah, new players are going to profit extremely from this minus 75% reduction. By the way, intelligent would be to just reduce this limit by just make it minus 50 or make it minus 40 or minus 33 and remove the obligation for players to buy the stuff, because new players won't even know that the changes in economy happened. But what they will see is that they still have to buy all of this bullshit. And they will be emotionally similarly annoyed as before the change. Because psychologically there's no reason to feel more annoyed for those players. Also, if there was, brains don't function in a logical way. So the frustration you create is the same. So this is not intelligently done. They should have removed this obligation. Also, instead of making soldiers minus 80% cheaper, make them fucking only minus 50% cheaper, and remove the random rolls that you get from buying soldiers. This would be also the better solution, so the 1.5 people from Dark Floor watching this, because most are lazy and don't really try to educate themselves, listen well, and this is how you do business. Alright, then, very important by the way, upgrading vehicles, because tanks and planes profit immensely from having their maximum stars. Now guess what? Upgrading vehicles is much more expensive than buying them. For example, buying a King Tiger or Tiger would cost you 15,000 under the old system, but upgrading it after you got all the price reductions would cost you 50,000. And this is also getting much cheaper. And here for the beginning it's extremely good, because let's say you're a new player once again, and you bought your steward or whatever, and it would have cost you, to compare it, under the old system 2,500 to buy and 5,100 to upgrade, so 7,600. The new system will only make it cost 2,500 or even less. So yeah, this is a really good reduction overall. Then purchasing and upgrading weapons, similar thing, and this will save you even more, because you obviously only play and buy a few vehicles, but you're buying lots of weapons for all of your soldiers. So this is one of the most important aspects. So getting soldiers for much cheaper and getting their equipment for much cheaper, immensely good. Here, by the way, you have to keep in mind, and here this is how you have to watch this video instantly and show it to all of your friends, so they also know it. Because if weapons get cheaper and upgrades get cheaper, it's not written here, but of course Darkflow won't tell it to you straightly, selling weapons will also get, well, less profitable. For example, if you look at a weapon, this would be a 5 weapon, and if I sell it, I get, well, what do I get? I would get, with the 100% bonus, 2,000. This is fucking nothing, because I paid almost 10,000 just to buy and upgrade it. So I get, even with the plus 100% bonus, roughly only 20% of what I paid in the beginning. And if I want to sell a BR1 weapon, let's say this shotgun, here's by the way the first thing you see. This weapon gives more than half, if I had the 100% bonus, than what the BR5 weapon does give you. So if you want to sell your weapons now, this is the best time. And here's the precise math. The lower tier your weapons are, the relatively speaking more you're gonna get. So I wouldn't sell high tier weapons. They cost extremely much to upgrade and to buy. even after the system, and they barely give you anything. And compared to that, low BR weapons are much more profitable in terms of selling them now. But here's the important part. I looked at the numbers, I won't bother going through the math now, and if the price that you get, or if the money that you get for selling them back is proportional to these changes, you won't be able to make profit. And even if you were, you can be assured Darkflow will see it and change the numbers that you don't. So I don't recommend the thing that some people who are getting FOMO right now claim, to just sell everything you don't play. Nope. What I would do is, if you're sure you don't need a weapon or you won't play a weapon, just sell it now, because after these changes are implemented, likely end of this week, the latest next week, though I wouldn't wait for that, you will get significantly less for the weapons after the changes. So if you want to sell something, sell it now. Obviously only sell normal weapons, don't sell event and gold order weapons. Well, you can't even sell them, but still, never sell stuff you can't get back. Never. This is just a stupid idea. And to make it simple, just only sell low-level weapons. Don't sell high-level weapons, because the math is highly against it. Like, it's not worth it to sell high-level stuff for 2,000 if I can sell low-level stuff for over 1,000. It's like the proportionality is absolutely not there. If I get twice as much for something that I paid 5 times as much, then obviously it's stupid. So yeah. So summed up, if you don't want a weapon now and it's low level, sell it. Otherwise I would keep everything I have right now. I wouldn't sell anything. But if you need to get rid of stuff, sell it now. Same thing goes for trinkets like pistols. Keep in mind you can sell them. By the way, these pistols you can sell for 375, and it isn't written here, but it's confirmed that pistols also will get cheaper. And let's take a look. How much do the pistols cost? The pistols cost 3,000. Yeah, they would drop to something like 500. Yeah, you see, you still won't make profit. Yeah, so yeah. Guess what? But stuff like grenades and pouches also get significantly cheaper. Even barely useful stuff like binoculars get basically reduced to 40. Now this is really good, because sometimes you want binoculars or just for role playing or simply just to fill up your slots, and now it becomes affordable. And mines, grenades, axes, here absolute recommendation, get yourself axes for every single soldier, so you can charge the fastest you can charge in the game, and so you can one-shot all enemies on melee. There's absolutely no reason to not have an axe. And no, having bayonets is not an argument, because if you charge with an axe, you're using less stamina than if you charge with a bayonet. So axes are best thing in the game. And some of them look even very cool. There's like the basic axe, and then there's this fancy cool axe from somewhere, I don't know from where. So yeah, quite useful. And for the last changes, the forced removal, the forced conversion of your research points is aborted, won't happen. Yeah, obviously, it was the worst idea ever. And instead, it's still in the making, but what Major wrote here is that the idea right now is to convert your research points into basically giving you a veteran's loot box, or making a veteran's loot box cheaper. What is a veteran's loot box, you ask? Well, it's not clear yet. They also still think about how to implement it. Most likely it will be a box that contains random stuff from the past, like random event squads or random event weapons and things like that. Yes, exactly that. Unless you live in Belgium or so, where randomness is forbidden, or in the Netherlands, there you will get all exactly what you want. So yeah, using a VPN might be useful, though games can track where you're logging in, and if they see you log in once from Netherlands and besides that always from Italy, they might give you penalties. So yeah, this is quite important to know for online games. Then bonus silver for battle heroes. As proposed, you will get additional 100 silver for the first 5 medals, also quite good. And here one of the best changes, as we explained, the very stupid system they originally planned with the join any team got reasonable by using basic math. I explained the problem, that the way it was proposed in the beginning would have given you on average a penalty for your experience and your silver gain. So the chances need to be equalized, and this is exactly what's going to happen. The 20% boost is still going to be implemented, and it's going to be stacked multiplicative with the 50% boost if you win a game, and then you get plus 80%. So if you click on join any team and you play, well, if you click this, by the way, you will be thrown into any nation, for those who don't know what this thing does. And let's say I'm playing Americans and I win the game, I will get plus 80% experience and silver. Experience and silver is the same in that case because you get 10.6% of your experience of a game, you get a silver. And if you lose the game, you will get not fucked anymore, because now you still get the normal winning multiplicator. Yes, and this is the smart thing that should have been done right from the start. If you lose the game, you still get, well, the same outcome as if you would have won it. Not exactly, because you will have less battle rating if you lose, but still, now you don't get punished anymore directly by the game if you click on join a team. So yeah, this is a good solution. This is why, by the way, you need basic economics math, because this is literally just first semester microeconomics applied, and this is something that every professionally designed game does. It's a basic logic. And one little change for the N2, and this is already implemented since today, somewhere today in the morning. I just logged in the evening now. The star system got a bit streamlined, because before this change you had up to 6 stars for your weapons, and especially new players didn't see the logic in that, because this was according to the old system before the merge, and it didn't make much sense nowadays. But now all the weapons have, well, if you buy, or if you look at a new weapon, if you get a basic weapon, you can see this weapon has only gray stars. Not a single star is upgraded. This is a naked weapon without any upgrades. You can upgrade every weapon 3 times, by the way, and now the stars tell you exactly how many upgrades your weapon has, and all weapons come with 3 naked stars. And this is logical and makes things easy, because before that you oftentimes had stupid things like you sometimes had 4 stars or 5 or 6 stars, and most of the time it was always in a way that if you buy a new weapon you have 3 gray stars, and it was just not really comfy to look at. And now all the weapons have 3 stars and everything is easy. It's so easy that even the famous football player Thomas Müller is happy with that. So let me know what you think about these changes. They are really good, really nice. The economy is going to be great, definitely better than the American economy or the Japanese stock market recently. And I can't wait for the upcoming changes and updates. Very likely this week, because we've been waiting for a long ass time. And it's about damn time that we get some new swag in the game. Also, there might be a sale coming, I'm not sure though, because summer sale must be happening, but there wasn't any summer sale and summer is almost over. So yeah, we better get some summer sale. And if you're unsure where to put your silver in, don't buy anything now, because obviously things are going to get cheaper. If you buy weapons or soldiers now, you're just going to throw away silver. So save all you have, don't buy anything, sell the low level stuff you don't need. And make sure you drop a like and share this video with your nerd friends, so everyone gets the good news about how Enlisted is going to be saved soon. And see you next time. Goodbye.